Check one, check two. What's up, guys? This is Dr. McFarland coming at you on a Thursday night with the Viewer Suggested Headrush rigs. And we're going to start off with some... we're going to warm up with some stock presets here. And men are back, maybe boys are back. That's probably some kind of, what's that band? Thin Lizzy. Is it Thin Lizzy? I can't remember. Oh, geez. All right. So, let's talk about the first thing you need to do when you are presented with a new rig that you're not really familiar with. First of all, let's check the input. I'm going to go ahead and put my Nate Gate preset on there. And you can hear it's kind of spitting at me a little bit. Yeah. We got some crazy stuff going on here. All right, so let's turn off everything. And that's a lot of noise. So we have the M2 lead. And let's check our output. All right, rig volume's at 4. Let's take it down to 1. All right, so I try to get my level 3 bars below 0. Well, we are roughly in the ballpark. And let's save new rig, men. I don't know what this song is supposed to be based off of. Boys are, and I can't type. Boys are back. I'm out with limited. I don't know what that means. All right, so we got some thick, juicy stuff going on here. Phone charge, gotcha. All right, let's do a MD 421 on axis. So you can hear how much brighter the on axis versus the off axis is. Here's off. So it really just depends the kind of sound you're going for. And we have the drive down pretty low. Presence. Let's take the treble down for sure. We don't need that much treble. But it all depends on the kind of sound you're going for. So let's just see what happens. All right, that's fine. We have a volume and a wall. Let's see what the DC distort is happening here. All right, very cool. Now the DC distort is going to add a lot of extra. See all that treble they have in there? We don't need all that. A lot of extra gain, a lot of extra noise. All right, so that's a good thick rhythm sound. And let's add some delay. Cool. So I got my stereo speakers going on here. Whew. All right, and let's check and see what the reverb sounds like. And it's actually pretty good. Medium plate, tone is down, mix is down, tails on, obviously. Make sure these tails are on. And there's a lot of background noise, so let's raise the gate just a little bit more, so we can kind of tame some of that noise. Or turn up the gate release. We will filter the noise floor even higher. All right. Nice and quiet. All right. Instead of a wall, which is perfectly fine to have, let's add the, it's under modulations. We're going to do an air filter, and we're going to put on an auto wall. And let's change the color. And there's all kinds of different presets in here. Let's just see what the auto wall sounds like. All right, it's a little too much. Two beat. All right, there we go. I had a preset. I think it's probably on my my Gigboard. Let's do 50% mix. All right, so that is perfectly fine doing something like that. So that way you can just kick in the auto wall whenever you're going for a solo. You don't have to mess with your foot going back and forth and whatnot. So all right, there we go. That is fine. Are there any suggestions? Maybe songs that I've heard before or I actually kind of play? Yeah, I still got the speakers by the wall here, so it's the way it is for now. It's the way for now. All right, let's go back to all rigs. And let's pick another. All right, let's see what Echo Park does. All right, there's a lot of delay, a lot of stereo doubler, compression at the end. That's interesting. And we have a tape echo before the amp. So let's go back to our input. And it's the same as before, which is great. Nice and quiet. Let's bypass all the effects. Like so. Alright, let's check our output. Now, excuse me. With the amp being this low, you really do have to raise your output volume to compensate. And I do like having my cab last in the chain. So I'm going to put it there. And we're going to go for Dyne 7 off axis. Yeah, it should be fine. So I'm not really sure what this rig is supposed to sound like. Let's turn on all the effects and see what we have. Uh-oh. Save new rig. Echo. All right. So we got a stereo delay thing going on here with some compression at the end. Let's turn off some of the stereo doublers and see what happens. All right. Let's go back to our amp. Let's just raise the volume a little bit. All right, so I kind of get why they put the compression at the end. They just want to tame all that stereo doubling and delay and whatnot, but I'm going to be putting it toward the beginning. All right. 12 dB a gain, that's ridiculous. We don't need that much. Let's raise the attack time a little bit. And I'm really not too fond of this sound. Let's change that. Alright, it sounds a little bit better. If there's any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. And what did y'all think of the live stream today about the looper board? I thought it was pretty cool. I'm not a big looper myself, but I can see if you are a looper, how it would be beneficial to have all those features, especially if you're playing in a big band and you want to all be synced up to the click track and you want to have MIDI, you know, synced up to maybe Ableton Live, or you're doing a drum machine. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of situations and possibilities with the looper board. So the first thing I tried to do with each rig is get a good bass tone. Not bass as in bass guitar, but like good foundation as in for the amp and the cab. And then anything I add on to that afterwards is just a good, you know, just something to add to the mix. All right, so there have been a lot of different requests for some kind of like ambient kind of stuff. So what I found here fairly recently was if you go to Dynamics, Auto Swell, I do like it on the fast setting, but there is a medium. Okay, so there's like a medium attack. Let's go fast, and then let's raise the attack all the way up. So we got fast mode, which to me it sounds like it's capturing the note and then fading that in quicker. But the actual swell time is coming from the attack. So All right, so you get that natural swell sound. And then when you kick in a delay of some sort, let's turn on some wow and flutter there. All right, great. And already that sounds awesome. Has a nice stereo sound to it. All right, let's double up on this cab here. We're gonna do the 2 times thing. I'm a 2 times baby. And let's do a C414 on axis. All right, so see what I did there? I just pressed the 2 times and it doubled up the cab. You can go in and change the cab if you want, even change the mic and different stuff like that. And let's see if we turn on this stereo doubler over here. That's a crazy pulsating kind of thing going on there. Let's do stereo doubler before the amp. So we're gonna triple up our delays, and let's go ahead and add some shimmer type stuff. And I do like to keep the mix of it pretty low. Maybe turn the wow down a little bit. It's probably where all the flutter was coming from. Okay. Dyne delay. This is going to be a half note delay. Mix envelope. And then we'll turn on our bucket brigade 3/16. We're about to get crazy here, folks. I'm going to turn the feedback down just a little bit on each of these. I just thought of something. I'm going to name it Dog Park. Because why not? Dog Park Echo. Alright, cool. Now, what you can do from here is go into hardware assign, take out the amp and cab, and probably the comp, all that stuff. And let's just say that we're gonna make 2 scenes here, okay? So we want the comp on. There's a gray comp. Okay. That's definitely going to be off. Amp on. Volume, auto swell. Okay. So anything with no change, you have to either have it on or off. Auto swell off, bucket brigade off, all that off. Shimmer off, cab on. Alright, so scene 1, we'll make it orange, and we're going to name it dry. And then scene 2, we'll have compression on, gray comp off, stereo doubler on, amp on, volume on, auto swell on. Everything on. Okay. We'll name this one wet. Alright, so do you understand the process? Yes, I'm using the FRFR. I got a stereo set up here. Ooh, whoa. Alright, so we're going to hit dry. Then wet. Alright, so this is a fairly simple process to make a sound or set up a rig, make a few scenes, and then just swap in between those scenes. And what's great about all this is we want tails to be on, so that way when we switch scenes, we'll have all that goodness trail off. Okay, so here's the wet scene. Then hit dry, and everything spills over. Then go back to wet. And I really need to tune. And everything keeps spilling over. So it would be cool to have a backing track feature on the actual Gigboard or actual pedalboard itself. You would have to hook it up via USB to your computer and load up your backing tracks. And I'm sure there should be some kind of way to rearrange the knobs to where you're doing pretty much the same way the looper board's set up. You got your 8 knobs here. You can control your start stop stuff, and you can do 4 knobs over here. You can do other stuff. And you can get into it just by pressing looper, right? And then bam, all your switches change to the appropriate knobs, just like the looper board does. So it would be cool if they updated that feature. Maybe not have as many like tracks you can add to and stuff, but just, you know, maybe have a knob, maybe have a switch set for backing track, maybe another one set for I don't even know what you would do, but I don't really use the looper a whole lot on here, except for the random noodling of stuff, which is kind of the way it goes. All right, I'm going to check the comments. All right. Let's go back to all rigs. And we're going to randomly pick another glorious sounding preset. Black drapes. Something about curtains or something. Black curtains. Station. Alright, not sure what's going on there. Is this one that I made before? I don't know. It has a... I'm not going to do that one. Looks like I've made that before. Well-dressed, sharp-dressed man. Women go crazy for a sharp-dressed man. Maybe. Alright, that sounds really hollow to me, so let's take everything out. And we're using a MS-30 amp. Let's take down the master volume there. What are you using? I think I missed a comment here. Digitech Trio still. Alright. Yeah, you have to tell me what you're talking about there. I'm not quite sure. I'm glad you got something figured out though. Alright, so greenback 25 watt, not a huge fan. I either like the 20 watt or the 30 watt vintage 30s. Let's do MD421 off axis. And let's do a C414 on axis on this cab and see what happens. I can name it the actual song because I don't care about copyright. So, Sharp Dressed Man. Still sounds like a my tune, doesn't it? Let's check it again. Gotcha. Yeah, you don't have to have an FRFR to use the Headrush. But I know the code 100 watt does have a effects loop. So you can just use the effects return of that. And get some great sounds out of it. I do declare. Yes, I do. Alright, let me plug in my phone real fast. I thought I had enough juice, but I don't. I don't have that juice. And let's see what happens if we go right here. Yeah. Something like that. All right. All right, so let's see what kind of tones we got. And what happens if we crank the amp all the way? I don't even know how to play this song. I'm trying to think of it in my head. Alright, it's not that necessary to have the white boost on. Or the chorus. I'm not sure whether I have the chorus in there. And we're going to take the gray comp out. And we're going to make the delay basically a slapback delay. It's a very short delay. Let's turn the feedback down. See what kind of reverb we got. Now, we can totally get by with the MS-30 with this song. I mean, as long as you got an overdriven amp, that's really all that matters. I want to say he now plays like an Artisan. Shoot, what is that amplifier? I can't remember what he plays now. It'll come to me eventually. Let's take the cut up a little bit. Kind of tame some of that high end. Alright, not bad. Let's see what a tube screamer does for us in this situation. Should be a little bit better. Alright, I like that. Sharp dressed man. So there's some ZZ Top. ZZ Top. Oh yeah. Oh, come on. Let's do another random rig from the presets. Ooh, what did I just see? Get wet later. What does that even mean? Black, blue, bog, chief, heavy, fusion rock, heavy rock lead. Let's see what Clean Heaven sounds like here. What, Dan Electro amp? I don't know about all that. Yeah, maybe. Clean Heaven. Let's rename this to I don't even know. Heaven Clean. Let's just reverse it. Alright, so let's check the settings here. They like to crank up the gain on the compression. Let's raise the attack time a little bit. Because we want it to compress, but we don't want it to totally squash the transient of the attack. I'm really just looking for, you know, something a little bloom. Alright, that sounds good. Nowadays, I'm not really too fond of the billionaire. I don't know. I'm more prone to put a auto volume or like an auto swell in there versus an actual volume pedal, because I really don't want to think about using my foot for something when I can just have it automatically do it for me. That sounds pretty good. Raise the time, raise the mix. We got a little bit of warble going on with the chorus. All right, so this preset wasn't too bad. We got the rig volume up pretty high, and that's probably because our amplifier is really not up that loud. But we can change that. We can crank that up big time. We'll keep it at 70. Silver cone 414. That sounds good. Let's try off axis. All right, great. That's good. So that's another good, clean, ambient kind of patch. It actually sounds really good. All right, cool. We made that one. And let's go for another one here. Better Birds, Need Somebody. See what this does here. All right, not bad. I do like to have my cab last. And let's crank up the gain a little bit more. We'll turn the presence down. Treble and mid. So this AC Boost mod didn't have the cut feature. It just has a 3-band EQ. So you can raise that treble up a little bit. So I like getting the amp to the edge of breakup, and that's going to kind of fatten up the sound overall, because otherwise it's just too clean for my taste. And if you want it any cleaner, you can just either roll back your volume or put it on the middle or neck pickup, and that'll give it a smoother tone. All right. What's going on here? Trying to make sure my phone's staying charged up. All right, so leave some comments and let me know what you thought. That's right, Big Pete. You just watch all you want. I'm here for you. So what do y'all think about the live stream today? Pete, I am using my Reverend Warhawk RT. And I love this guitar. I love all my Reverend guitars. They're great. So that's a nice full sound. Really don't need to change a whole lot about this. Let's take the white boost off. And there's not a whole lot going on with the gain there or the level. Someone like someone like you. That sounds pretty good, actually. Checking the comments again. I do have a few camera things on order. I'm looking to revamp my live stream setup and did a little bit of research and saw what other people were using. And I think I got a pretty good idea. So I'm going to get that going hopefully within the next few weeks. At least by the beginning of June, I'll be fully set up with the new camera and new little gadget things so I can get some better live streaming. So I like to get the audio and the video a little bit better because I know it's possible. I don't want to be lazy about it just by using my iPhone all the time. So I said, Nate Dogg, let's make it happen, man. All right, there's another rig. That was good. So we're going to go back and we're going to pick another one. So I really hadn't had a whole lot of time this week to research and listen to songs and figure things out. So, Robbie's Fire, Prison Break, One More Chance, Say You Will, Plexi Rock, Whammy Shred. Mother, mother. Let's see what Mother, Mother does, just for fun. Something like that. Whew, man. Now notice what you have to do with the rig volume. If your amp is super clean, you really need to have your rig volume up to compensate for the the lack of output. So that way you keep all your rigs relatively the same volume. We're pretty much staying within that 3 bars below 0, but I'm going to swap some things around here. I'm going to call this Mother Marvin, if I can type. Mother Marvin. All right, compression before the amp, always. I prefer it there. And we don't really need a volume pedal in here. So we got a real simple setup. So And let's really squeeze the sound here. And we're going to crank up the ratio and the release time. Do have some vibrato from the amp, and we have the bright switch from the amp. That's just really nice. That's a nice sounding setup there. We can turn the mix of that reverb down a little bit. Turn the tails on. Bright off. It does. Yes, that's right, Eli. It does. Now, I don't want the bright on, but I do want a little bit more top end happening. Maybe roll with the bass a little bit. So rolling up the treble on the amp is not always the same as just turning on the bright switch, because each one is going to affect a different frequency range within the spectrum. So it's okay to have the treble all the way up like I do, but the bright switch is off. So we can also look at that. That 409 actually sounds pretty good, but I'm going to go to the 414. It's kind of glassy. Not bad. And that sounds nice as well. Mother, mother, Marvin, there's too many of you crying. Bo 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 do bo. Ba da ba da ba ba. Ba da. Cool. So it is fun kind of going through some of these presets and trying to find some inspiration here. And I think that's what they're good for, just kind of going through and getting a good, beginning on something. Cali Hotel F, Cali Hotel W. And we got Pink Time. I have become probably comfortably numb. Let's see what happens here. Interesting. I have become comfortably numb. I don't know what key. Hey, what key is this song in? Anybody? Who knows some Pink Floyd? I know you do. I know you know what some Pink Floyd is. So I have become comfortably numb. What's the key? So let's bypass these effects. Let's take out the volume. We're going to save as new rig. Comfortably. Man, I can't type. I'll get there someday. Comforted and numb. There you go. That way we keep the copyright people off our backs. However that works. Who knows? Brown note. No, I'm trying to figure out what key we're in, folks. Okay, what's the song? Shoot. Alright, once again, not a huge fan of the 25 watt, but let's just see what other options we have. It always sounds like too mid-rangey to me. We don't need the rig volume up that high. We want to keep it at 3 bars below 0, just like I do on the Gigboard. And let's turn up the high volume and roll back the normal volume. Turn down the presence. Something like that. Oh man, I can't think of the song. Oh, I think I know. So. No. I don't know it. Alright, don't know what's going on there. Trails on. Let's do the sync off. Too much mix. Bring up the recording level. Echo rec. Alright, now let's kick in the DC distort, see what that does. Don't know. I got a lot of songs I need to learn, folks. I'm out of practice with learning songs. Something like that. Who knows? Yeah, it should be Comfortably Numb by Brian Adams. Pink Floyd. Let's put our reverb back in. All right, let's ease up on the gain on the amp. experiment with the tri-fuzz, because I know old Gilmore likes to use the big muff. Alright, that actually doesn't sound too bad. I like it. Let's see what the rotary does. And we'll put it before the fuzz. We got a slow speed. I don't know what I'm doing, folks, but it sounds good. It sounds great. Tri-fuzz, rotary, tape, echo, bam, bam. Alright, what do you think so far? Huh? None by Adams. That's right. Because it cuts like a knife. I saw a guy on YouTube. He does a bunch of Helix stuff. He did a Bryan Adams tone with the Helix. I think it was cut like a knife or something like that. I need to. One of my favorite songs is Please Forgive Me, Don't Know What to Do. Can't stop loving you. Don't deny me. This pain I'm going through. Please forgive me. The solos in those songs are great. Really good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and make a set list here. New set list. And let's go and find our songs here. We're at the very bottom. Very bottom. All right, we did a bunch here. So we got Boys Are Back, Dog Park Echo, Sharp Dressed Man, Heaven Clean, You Somebody, Mother Marvin, Comforted and Numb. We're going to do Save New Set List, Viewer Suggested Headrush Rigs. Number 19. So I want you guys to prepare for next week. We're going to do a special 20th week celebration here. And I want you to send me your rigs. And we are going to review and analyze our rigs live on YouTube. So I know there's people out there who's like, oh, I got USB issues. All right, well, we'll find a way to make it happen. But if you can and you're able, send me what you have, and I'll look it over and let you know what I think. Okay. So how many do we have here? So let's go to rig view. So we got 7 rigs. We got 1 more to fill up down here. What do you mean you have no rigs? Make a rig, Eli. I want to see it. I want to see those rigs. So I started using rig view a lot. I made my ultimate set list last week and put a bunch of rigs in there. And I actually just kind of like swapping between rigs. And you can make them as similar or as different as you want. And what's great is everything spills over into each other very smooth. And I'm burping because I had an icy pop earlier. I don't know what I had. It's weird. And we got tuned again. I think it's about time for me to change the strings on this guitar, which I don't think I've done since I've had it. And it's probably been close to a year, maybe more. Who knows? I don't remember. Alright, so we got 7 rigs. I'm going to do one more rig. So if you have any suggestions, call it out. And we'll see what we can do here. Alright, I'm checking the comments. I need you guys to pull through for me here. Alright, we're going to do a rig called I Have No Rigs. This is going to be easy. Alright, there you go. It's a blank rig. Let's actually do something here. Let's go to Custom IR, Default, and where is... They might be on the Gigboard. This next week I have plans to do my review of the 3 Sigma Audio 3 Sigma Audio acoustic IRs, or impulse responses as you cool kids call it. But I don't have them on here. I must have them on the Gigboard, which is fine. Let's look at... I'm really trying to think of a song. I need a song, folks. We're good. I think I've had the time to use it 10 times and learning more about it watching. Yeah, good. Yeah. Close to Gilmore. That's right. Well, I need to learn how to play more like them. It's one thing to have a tone, but unless you get the nuance of the playing, it's going to be hard to really mimic a lot of these bands if you don't have the right technique. So that's one thing we really got to pay attention to, especially when using gear like this, is you just got to pay attention to the actual playing side, not just fiddling around with knobs. You can do that all day, but it really comes down to the playing and getting that down as well. So we got to work on our chops. We got to practice every day. Make sure that we're doing things right. All right, so a lot of the IRs I have. Let me show you. Let's take a break from the headrush right here. And all right, I'm going to go to global setting, USB transfer. Oh shoot, I can't do that yet. I'm not plugged in. It's going, hey, I don't know what you're doing. We're going to go to the computer over here, folks. Your files are now accessible on a computer. All right, well, that's great. All right, let's try it one more time. So we're syncing up the files here. Syncing it up or stinking it up? I don't know. So hopefully I'm not going to have any weird camera issues. All right, here's my computer screen. And I've been working on my website. I got some backing track stuff. All right. So here's my headrush, right? So if you need to go into impulse responses, there are the stock impulse responses that were loaded from the last update. And now I'm going to go to headrush backing rigs, or headrush back rigs. And let's see, acoustic IR, chord H, and then there's a Martin. All right, so I downloaded the Martin 45 And this has acoustic IRs for piezo and sound hole. And also has electric. And there's a lot of different options here. So what we're going to do is go to impulse responses. And I'm just going to see what happens if I start a new folder. And call it acoustic. Is this going to work? Maybe. It might work. Alright, so let's just pull in an IR here and see what happens. May not work. I might have to go back and do it again. But let me show you another thing right here, folks. Okay, if you go to Facebook and hello. Alright, so we want to go to Headrush Pedalboard, and you want to go to Files down over here. Okay, go to Files. You're going to see all these files over here. And alright, you got to go to See More. And we have some legacy stuff. And here's the amp and effect list, which is cool. You got to go all the way to the bottom. Here's an acoustic 2 impulse wave, which is neat. So there are some acoustic impulse responses in the file section. Alright, so at the very bottom here, this is what I want you to go to. We got Sacco Body IRs, which is probably going to be acoustic IRs. We got Impulses 7. So the free Marshall 1960A, this is coming straight from, I think it's Redline Impulse Response. I can't remember the name of them, but anyway, that's where I got most of my IRs right there. And they sound really good. Alright, let's do some credence. We'll finish off with that. Okay. But this is, you have to go to Files, and then all the way down at the bottom, you got Catharsis, Free Marshall 1960. And then if you go to Bookmarks, I don't know where it is. Might be at the bottom. Okay, Impulse Responses down here. So you got Masters of Music .com/impulse response guide and free downloads. So if you go here, there's even more. You got Ownhammer, some free pack from Ownhammer, free Red Wires IR, Catharsis, God's Cab, Tone, Vampire, 7 Daily Sands Impulse Pack. I mean, there's tons of free impulse responses you can get. Okay. But I wanted to go in there and let's go eject Headrush on the computer. Then we're going to say sync. I'm going to sync it up. And I hope that makes sense for everybody. So you got to go to the Headrush Pedalboard group. We all know and love. And then you got to go to Files all the way down at the bottom. And there's a plethora of impulse responses that you can play with, okay? Alright, so now let's go into impulse response. And let's see if there's a folder. I don't know if it's going to do it like that. Blackline, Fawn, Tangerine. Alright, so you can't put impulse responses into a folder. You have to have them just in the list as they are. And it's just the way it is. Yeah, alright, that's fine. I'm not going to mess with that right now. I'll do an official review of the 3 Sigma audio stuff. So let's go with a Black Lux. Come on home to Green River. So we're gonna turn the volume up. This has no master volume. It just has a regular. Actually, it does have a master volume. It didn't have a preamp gain. All right. So the more you crank the amp, that much. Let's turn it down a little bit. All right, let's go to rig view. Mother. Yeah, you don't have to have a computer just yet. Or if you wanna download some stuff and go over to a friend's house or something, I mean that's another viable option as well. All right, so let's go to hardware assign. Take out the cab, but we're gonna add in the vibrato. All right. And we're gonna turn that on. So vibrato on. Let's turn down the speed. Ease up on the intensity. Now, just for fun, he might have used an actual AC30, because I've seen it before. So but you really can't go wrong with a Fender or a Vox for this situation. So we're going to ease up on the gain, just kind of make it mild. Maybe a little bit of gain. Trim depth. I think that works. And let's add a splash of reverb. Airverb. We're gonna do a hall. Come on. So when you make the time really short, it makes it sound like you're in a small-ish kind of room. right, cool. There you go. So we got Boys Are Back, Dog Park Echo, Heaven Clean, You Somebody, Mother Marvin, Comforted and Numb, and Green River. So that should be a good little rig set list for you to experiment with and kind of learn how I set things up. And let's go ahead and check the output of that real fast. It's good. All right, let's turn the rig volume up a little bit. All right, that's fine. So I have been working hard on my website a lot lately, especially in the last few days. And I've added a yearly membership feature. So if you're not too fond of paying monthly and you just want to pay for the year, you're going to get access to all the music video courses or lessons, all the amp videos I've made so far about different amplifiers in the Headrush, and I'm going to start making videos about different effects as well within that course. And then coming up very, very shortly, I'm going to start the recording course here. So I'm going to talk about songwriting, song arrangement, music production, mixing, mastering, uploading your songs to a digital distribution so you can get your songs on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, you know, all that stuff. So so stay tuned for that, and thanks guys for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.